Can you imagine that you moved from your country to a new country and now you have relocated to a new country and you're trying to adjust to the life in this new country? But one day it was 12 midnight and you decided to open your window to look outside of your new location, and this is what you see. If I ask you to guess the time of the day when this video was taken, you probably say it was taken around afternoon. And that is very understandable because many places around the world we get 12 hours of sunlight and 12 hours of night time. And every one of us know what nighttime looks like, and there is nothing in this video that looks like nighttime. But what if I tell you that this video was taken around midnight? Would you believe it, or would you think I'm making up stories again? Do you know that there are places in the world where the sun never sets? And what I mean by the sun never sets is, in those places, there is a time when they have 24 hours of sunlight. And if you go there during that time, you will never see darkness, even at midnight. This phenomenon is known as the polar day. The polar day occurs during the summer. And what happens during polar day is, the places that are very close to the Arctic Circle experience 24 hours of sunlight. But there is a catch, and the catch is, during the winter, these same places that are very close to the Arctic Circle experience what we call polar nights. And during polar nights, these places will experience 24 hours of darkness. So tell me, would you like to live in a place where during the summer you don't see darkness and during the winter you don't see sunlight? Or would you even like to visit these places at least once in your lifetime to experience this natural phenomenon? I know you want to experience this at least once in your lifetime. So in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why it happens, where it happens, and when you can actually visit these places to see this natural phenomenon. And without wasting much time, let's go straight into the video. Before we begin, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel right now so that you can come back to this channel every Tuesday and Friday to watch more interesting stories just like this one. So let's get back to the video. I know that at this point of the video, you're probably wondering what is this polar day and polar night and why does it happen? The polar day and the polar night are natural phenomena that occurs during the summer and the winter respectively, and it occurs in the places that are very close to the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle. During the polar day, the places that are very close to the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle experience 24 hours of sunlight, and during the polar night, these places experience 24 hours of darkness, and this is why it happens. The most basic way to explain why this happens is, we all know that the Earth is not standing straight. The Earth is tilted about 23.5 degrees on its axis. As the Earth rotates, we experience day and night. And through the year, the Earth also moves around the Sun on an orbit. And during the part of the year where the Earth is far from the Sun, the places in the southern hemisphere, which include some part of Africa and Australia, they experience winter. And the places in the northern hemisphere, which include the United States, Canada, Europe, and Asia, they experience summer. But the places that are close to the Arctic Circle, they experience what we call polar day. And this time, they have 24 hours of sunlight. And this happened because, I told you earlier, the Earth is tilted. So as the Earth rotates and move around the Sun, there is always sunlight around that Arctic Circle. And this is the reason why these places experience what we call the polar day. And during the part of the year where the Earth is now closer to the Sun, the places in the southern hemisphere now experience summer, while the places in the northern hemisphere experience winter. Then the places that are close to the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle now experience what we know as polar night. And this happens because now the Earth is now closer to the Sun and the Sun barely rises above the horizon. So these places experience 24 hours of darkness. But how dark a place becomes depends on how far north the place is located. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you the places where you can experience this natural phenomenon and when you can experience it. Now that you have known what is the polar day, the polar night, and you have known exactly why these natural phenomena occur, you want to know the places and the time when you can actually visit and experience this natural phenomenon. And I'm going to tell you right now. If you want to experience the polar day, like you want to see the sun for 24 hours, you don't want to see darkness, these are the places you should be looking at. You need to travel to northern Russia, especially in a place called Murmansk. In this place, the sun never disappears from the end of May to the end of July. So when you go to these places during this time, you're going to see 24 hours of sunlight no darkness. Other places you can experience the polar day is Sweden or Finland. In fact, if you travel to the north of the Arctic Circle in the Lapland of Finland or Sweden, you will experience polar day from May till August, which means if you travel to this place in May up to August, you're going to experience 24 hours of sunlight and you won't see darkness. Iceland is another country where you can experience the midnight sun, or you say the polar day. And if you travel to Iceland from May through to June, you're going to experience the polar day, which is 24 hours of sunlight. No darkness, nothing, just sunlight every time of the day. In Norway, most part of the country experience 76 days of midnight sun between May and July. And during this time, if you travel to Norway, you will notice that in most part of the country, there is no darkness and there is 24 hours of sunlight. In Canada, there are places called Nunavut and Yukon. These places experience 24 hours of sunlight between June and September. So if you're in Canada and you want to experience the polar day, make sure to travel to Nunavut or Yukon during this time and you're going to see 24 hours of sunlight, and that is something you don't want to miss. Are you in the United States and you want to see the polar day? You can still see it because Alaska is another place that experiences the midnight sun, and it happens for up to 4 months from April till August. So if you're in the United States and you want to see the polar day, travel to Alaska between April and August and you're going to see 24 hours of sunlight. But from September, everything will begin to change for these places because right now the Earth is moving closer to the sun and the southern hemisphere now experiences summer while the northern hemisphere is now experiencing winter. And this is the period where these places we just mentioned will start experiencing what we call the polar night. Those 24 hours of sunlight will now turn to 24 hours of darkness, and this can last between 1 month and up to 4 months. There is a place in Norway called Svalbard, and this place experienced this polar night for up to 2.5 months. Then the place in the world that experienced it the most is a place called Alat in Canada. This place experienced the polar night for up to 4 months. So if you want to see the polar night, you want to see 24 hours of darkness, travel to these places we mentioned earlier from September. Some of them, it lasts up to 1 month and some others last up to 2 months. But a place called Alat in Canada experienced this for up to 4 months. And this place is the most affected place in the world. It is called Alat, and it's located in Canada. I believe with this video you have learned something new, or maybe you have heard about this before but you don't know much, or you haven't gotten much clarity about it, and I hope with this video I've been able to clarify you or maybe teach you something new. Just tell me in the comment section, would you like to see this natural phenomenon at least once in your lifetime? And if you will, which place would you like to travel to experience it? I would like to know. And go to the comment section, you will also see my own. I will also tell you exactly where I want to go and see the polar night and the polar day. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy this video, I have no doubt you will enjoy this one that is currently showing in front of your screen. So click on that video and I will see you over there. Bye.